So good evening, Serena, and welcome to this short interview where we will be focusing on your career and your personal history in a way. So thank you for being here. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very okay, thank you.
So what time is it now in Uganda?
It is 7 p.m.
Oh, it's 7 p.m. So you are 2 hours ahead of us in
Yes,
comparison
I
to
just
Italy.
finished my shift and I'm here. I'm very happy to be here with you.
Fantastic. I'm sure that our students will appreciate your time and obviously all the beautiful things that you are going to tell us about your experience as a nurse working with emergency and all the beautiful things you've done until now as a nurse in the UK as well, because I know you've got a wealth of experiences in clinical, human, and obviously perspective. So first of all, Serena, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell us some more about yourself.
Of course, why not? So my name is Serena and I'm 31 years old and I come from Puglia and I've been living in Parma for 12 years. I think that being a nurse has always been in my dream, and I was very lucky actually because I was lucky to know from the beginning what my my job would look like. I mean, the job that I wanted to do, and I was also lucky because I achieved it. So I consider myself very lucky. I think this profession could totally, I mean, I thought at the time that this profession could totally fit me because I think the idea came from my mom. She's a nurse. So I just followed her and I was very happy because actually being an healthcare professional um, gave me a, a passport to the world. So I thought when I started that I was going to be able to travel, to work as a nurse everywhere. So I still didn't explore everywhere, but it's on my list. So basically, that's it. I'm living in Parma now, and I'm working as a nurse in INE, pediatric INE. I've been working in Spain for a while. I've been working in UK for 2 years. And now I'm working as a nurse in the Children's Surgical Hospital of Entebbe in Uganda, working with an NGO that I think you all know that is called Emergency.
Okay, fantastic. Thank you, Serena, for sharing your thoughts and your ideas. This is just, a question, the first question, just to break the ice. But in a way, you answered already to the second one, which is about the rationale behind your choice of, picking the nursing profession rather than, I don't know, medicine or maybe become a lawyer or an artist or whatever. So why nursing, apart from the influence your mom had in your life? Is there any other reason why you picked nursing and not any other profession?
Yes, the main reason is I wanted to really connect to patients, to people, and I thought that being a nurse would give me that opportunity. Also, doctor, they of course they do it, but I thought as a nurse I could have the possibility to experience it more. So that's why I chose to become a nurse, and I think my idea wasn't wrong. I totally, I mean, I think we are very close to patient, we care, we are there all the time and we care, we treat them, we are the one who are in a connection with them. I don't know what to say, but we are like, we know them, and it's apart from the lab test, apart from everything, we just know how to, I don't know, to connect with them. This is what something, I mean, the best thing that like gave me the idea to become a nurse.
Okay. Okay. So in other words, it's an opportunity for you to socialize and connect on a more profound and deep level with other people and share your knowledge, share your
Yes,
understanding of
absolutely.
medicine, medications, interventions, and let's say in a way
Absolutely.
guide them through the healing process. So we
Yes, that was,
very, I mean,
yes.
yeah, so it's a very much different from what normally a doctor does, because we know that we are always by our patient side, and we
Yes,
spend most of our time dealing with their problems, talking to them and trying to put ourselves in their shoes. That's the idea. Yeah, absolutely. I share your views and I share your opinions, so we are definitely on the same page. And so I do understand, because we are both on the same boat when it comes to English. And because you know that this session, nursing a passport to the world, is part of the English module. So we both experienced different difficulties and issues when it comes to learning a completely different language. Would you like to share with us what you've been through and how difficult was the process through which so you came to become fluent, or let's say able to, communicate in English?
yes. So straight after my graduation, I moved to UK and I started to work in Canterbury. It's a lovely place. And I started to work in an NHS hospital, so a public hospital in a vascular surgery ward. When I arrived there, my English was very poor. I couldn't say a full sentence. I couldn't say anything. Also because the experience before that one was the experience in Spain. So not a native English country. So I was lost. And imagine yourself being 12 hours in a hospital and not understanding what's going on around you. I must admit, the first couple of months have been, well, difficult, very difficult, because I mean, you're just trying to understand what's going on and the way how to say things and how to to be able to speak and to do your job. It's, of course, it's a completely different job, and you just have to find a way through. But what I did was basically be patient with myself and take, I mean, everything from them, from nurses, from doctors, just learn, just being with them 12 hours every day. And this helped me a lot. So after a few months, I became able to talk with them, to understand what they were asking me, and able to read surgery notes or doctor notes, able to realize what was happening around me. And I felt very, very proud of myself. So I know it can be hard. I know it's very difficult at the beginning, but when you reach that point where you are able to communicate and to talk and to express your feeling, to express your problem, that is the best part, honestly. It's and I must admit, my colleagues have been very good. They helped me a lot. They did teach me things and grammar and pronunciation, because we know the pronunciation is always the, I think, the difficult part, especially for us. But yeah, and I think in a way I got through the process and I won. So I'm quite happy about that.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, we know that normally when we work as part of a multidisciplinary team in a foreign country, the multidisciplinary team is made of of people coming from different countries and belonging to different ethnicities. So as you said, pronunciations and accents may vary greatly according to the person you're talking to. So that could be very hard and very difficult.
Very, yes. But the best thing is just being patient with yourself and maybe ask question or watching a movie in English may help, you know, these kind of things that we can always do. We can do very easily now. That helps you a lot. Yes. And helps also if you have a good level of English and you want to improve it.
Yes, I mean, there are lots of different options available now to learn a foreign language,
yes,
or English as well. So, but we will talk about it specifically when we come to the end of our conversation. And Serena, can you tell us some more about the first experience you had in the UK, in England, so in Canterbury, you said. So when did you start for the first time working in Canterbury, and and what was your role at the time?
Bueno, so I moved to UK in 2014, as I said, straight after my graduation, and I started to work in a vascular surgery ward. So by that time, I didn't have my PIN number from the NMC. So in order for me to work as a nurse, I started working as a healthcare assistant. It was only for the first month, and then I got my PIN and I started to work PIN number, and then I started to work as a nurse. So my main duty,
and obviously sorry to interrupt you. So your PIN number is your personal identification number, which is
yes,
yeah. Okay.
The one that gives you, your subscription to the NMC, the Nursing and Midwife Council. So I started to work as a nurse, and so I was dealing with, of course, amputate patients, so patients that been through surgery, a vascular surgery, and many other people, physiotherapists, of course, occupational therapists. And I was the nurse in charge of providing care for them, giving them medication, dealing with difficult discharges, and also with the nurse, sister in charge, and medical officer, surgeons. I mean, we were all a part of the team providing care to those kind of patients. We had patients that come here come in the morning, and then they went through surgery, and then they were discharged at night time. And we had patients there for a long period of time. And it was very, very interesting because it was a surgery, and I really liked surgery. I still like surgery, and that was it.
Okay, that's great. That's great, Serena. And how long have you been there for?
I've been there for 1.5 years, and then the last 6 months I've been working in INE, also in Canterbury. Okay. It was an INE without the trauma center, because trauma center was in a city close to Canterbury. So we received many patients, of course, patient with short of breath, cardiac arrest, everything.
Mainly,
so it was also very
medical cases.
Yes, but mostly, yeah.
Okay. So in a way, that was in preparation to your next move in your career, when I think you moved to Parma, back to Parma, and started.
I did, yes.
INE as a pediatric nurse.
Yes. Then I moved to Parma. Then I moved again to Piacenza, and then I came back to Parma. So yeah, working as a pediatric nurse. Then my career as a pediatric nurse began, and it was incredible, honestly, because all the experience that I achieved in UK, in a way, also helped me even in Italy, because everything you learn, also another language, also speaking English was very important for me, because we have so many foreign patients now, so many people coming from everywhere. And in order to speak with them, you have to be able to communicate and to use the first language, that is English, most of the time.
Yes.
So that experience although it doesn't seem like, but he helped me a lot for the next one. And as we said, knowing a lot of language is a passport to the world. So
yeah, so there are lots of different patients from different nationalities attending
yes,
consultations in A&E in Parma or in Piacenza because
yes,
because they're visiting or because they moved into Parma for working purposes or studying.
yeah, for both reasons. Yeah, they move or they are just traveling, they're just passing by Parma, and then they unfortunately they stop there. And I thought one of the important thing as a nurse is being able to do a proper assessment. And you cannot do a proper assessment to a patient who comes to you and needs help if you cannot communicate. So that's why I wanted so much to learn. I wanted to learn English so much.
Yes, yeah. I think that's a very good reason to learn another language. Otherwise, it won't be possible to, let's say, conduct a full medical assessment or a full or history taking. You won't be able to acquire all the information you need to fully assess them. And so you're currently in Uganda working with emergency.
I am.
So how is that possible? So is there a national law? Is there so what kind of opportunity actual students and future nurses will have to replicate a similar experience to yours when they will graduate?
As I said, I've been working in Parma, and I started my job as with a permanent contract. That means that the government gives to healthcare professionals the possibility to move and to work for an NGO and using unpaid leaves. So this is very technical, but I'm explaining this because it's the reason why, one of the reasons why I did it. I still have my job in Italy. I'm taking unpaid leaves. And after a while working in I&E, in pediatric I&E in Parma, I thought, well, now my experience, I think it's a good experience, and I think my English is still a good English. So why not? Why not why don't share this experience and this knowledge and this nursing care with other? So I did the application, I sent my CV, and luckily emergency liked my CV. So I did an interview and they liked me. So here I am.
Oh, that's great. That's great. So as you said, there are opportunities for those of us who are willing to, let's say, undertake a similar journey, because obviously the Italian legislations allow us to apply for unpaid leave. So we can still hold our, let's say, occupation, our job, our permanent role while we are spending some time abroad, overseas. So how long can you spend abroad? So how long can you stay abroad?
You can stay abroad for a maximum of 4 years totally. So now I'm taking the first 9 months. So I have lots of months left.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I'm looking forward to use that.
Okay. So we won't tell anyone. So it will be just between the two of us and the rest of the students. Okay. So I think I'm sure, Serena, all of us are, very much interested in your story and in what you're going to do on a daily basis. What kind of responsibilities, what does your role expect you to do on a daily basis in Uganda as an emergency nurse?
Okay, as an emergency nurse in Uganda, I'm working in a children's surgical hospital. So my main duties are teaching, first of all, because we do lots of teaching for the local staff. We are in a hospital and we are working with I think 300 of locals, and our job, especially my job in HDU, which is the high dependence unit where I'm working in, is teach them. We have classes, we have lessons, we have moment with doctors in which we can ask meetings, we can have questions, we can talk about the patient's plan. So this is the first thing. The second thing is managing the roster, nursing shifts and sick leaves, all of that. Pharmacy. In order for the nurse to work, of course, they need to have pharmacy, they need to have dressings, they need to have everything they need, and that part of the job is on me. So I must say something different between Italy, but it is itself, I mean, it is a challenge itself, because it's not only a new country, it's also a new role. I mean, a new role, a kind of different role between the one I was doing before. So it's challenging. It's very challenging. It's amazing.
Yeah. So they not only see you as a clinician, as a practitioner, but they see you as a clinical educator. So you provide them with educational interventions, and you, I think, mentioned also the opportunity to work alongside with doctors or other healthcare professionals to deliver.
Yes, we work.
Yep.
Yes, sorry to interrupt. Yes, no, we work with them. We work with physiotherapists. We work with either local and international staff all together in order to achieve and to give the best care for the patient. We are actually here. We are here to train them, because one day this hospital will become their hospital. So we need to be here to give our knowledge to them, in order for them to grow and to take the best from us and to use it on a daily basis with their patients.
Yeah, so it's an opportunity for them to become, let's say, independent and able to deliver the service without any, let's say, external support or help.
Definitely.
So that's the idea, is to make sure they are equipped with all the skills and the knowledge and the technologies they need to make sure that they can rely on themselves only. So that's absolutely great. That's absolutely great. And so I think I mean, I'm sure you work for most of your day, so maybe you've got very long shifts to deal with, but obviously you've got also some spare time. So
of course, here comes the best part.
Yeah, this is not only an opportunity for you to grow as a professional, but obviously it's a human, it's a social, it's a cultural, spiritual, maybe experience.
Everything.
Yeah. Yes. So what do you normally do in your spare time?
It's such an amazing opportunity to learn, to grow, to learn a new culture. And basically on my spare time, I like and I enjoy exploring the surrounding area. So we usually spend time also with locals. We have we go out for a drink, or we live in a guest house. So all the international stuff is there in the guest house, and we have we have dinner together. We stay with them, so we stay together. We speak English, of course, because there are so many people from many different places. So the good thing is not also to learn locals' culture. Also, people from other countries are there, and it's amazing. So yeah, that's the thing I do on my spare time. Basically,
to me, that sometimes they arrange visits to certain areas like safaris.
Yes.
Or you have also spare time to travel the country and visit other villages or other areas.
Of course I have, especially during the weekend. And I was about to say, I just came back from a safari in Western Uganda, and it was such an amazing experience. And I'm planning my holiday next week I'm gonna go for a holiday, and I can't wait to explore Uganda. I think I'm gonna take a flight to Zanzibar, but it's not sure yet. So
okay, so you are still arranging your holiday.
I'm still arranging, yes, but this is, I mean, just to say that we have time to explore and to to enjoy our free time. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. So how would you, let's say, describe the relationships you are building with your colleagues and with local population? So how do they see you when they deal with you?
Okay, they are, I don't know how to explain. It's very difficult because they are very different between patients in Italy. In here, in Uganda, well, in Africa, I must say, but talking about my experience in Uganda, they don't have these free of charge hospitals. So these kind of services that we are giving them is, for them, it's just incredible because they don't expect that it's free and there's nothing to pay, you know. So they are very happy. They always say, I mean, they are always there saying thank you, and they are very curious also about our culture. They like to learn a few words, and it's a very good moment to sharing feelings. And yeah, at the beginning it has been not that easy because they were a bit shy, and of course they have a new person coming, so they need to get used to it. But after a while you just
so
you enjoy.
it takes times to break the ice.
Yes, it takes time, but I mean, it didn't take much time with me. So
that's a good sign. That's a good sign. And so, and it seems to me that in general you are highly regarded, highly respected, and you know, and obviously they very appreciative. You know, they appreciate, you know, the service that emergency and, you know, all healthcare professionals are delivering to the local population, because obviously, as you said, they normally have to pay for healthcare, and in your case, it's completely free. So it's, I'm sure, a great service you are offering to their community. And I think we've come to the last question, Serena. So thank you very much for, you know, all your the information you're giving us and all the fantastic things you are, you know, sharing with us. So obviously, many of our students think that English is very difficult and that could be very complex to learn a new language, and maybe especially English. Is there any strategy or any tips you would like to give them in order to speed up, you know, learning English, mastering English? What was your strategy? What is currently your strategy to improve?
My strategy was at the beginning, I started, as I said, watching movies, maybe with subtitles, but also with English subtitles, or reading books. I started with kindergarten's book, so the book you usually give to children. And you know, I know that very easy, very understandable. So after that, I think the best thing to do is not be shy. Okay, so if you're not shy and if you keep practicing, and well, for me it was easier because I was fully absorbed of, I mean, in an English country, so it was very I speed it up because it was easy, you know, everyone was speaking English, so it was the only thing to do. I was kind of forced to learn it because that's the only way I could communicate. But the only thing I want to say is don't be shy. They will appreciate you. You are making the effort to learn a new language, and they will just appreciate you. They will help you, and it's gonna be amazing.
Okay, so that's I think this is a very good tip, and this is a very good word of advice. Reading very simple textbooks for children. I mean, there are lots of opportunities, I think, online. Even if you go on YouTube, there are English courses for children. So you can start from there and, slowly, according to your own pace, your own expectations, move on and, trying to get to a higher level of understanding and comprehension. I think you mentioned also maybe previously watching movies in
yes, that helped me a lot.
Could be an idea. So anything else, Serena, that comes to your mind, or anything else you did when you were in Canterbury for the first time?
I was going out my comfort zone. So at some point, I realized that I was only able to speak English in a hospital environment. So I said, well, I cannot communicate and I cannot talk about anything else apart from my job. So I said, what am I going to do now? I want to improve. I want to learn new words. I want to improve my vocabulary. So I just started to go out with friends and I started to talk with locals, and that helped me a lot, as I said, because I had to talk about something else, not relating to hospital. So I know it's not easy, but I know for sure that in Parma there is a kind of organization that does this kind of things. So in order to develop your vocabulary and your speaking in English, it's good to talk with people who are not in your comfort zone. So you need to explore. And there's this organization in Parma that is very good. They once a week they meet, they have a beer, they have a drink, and you can spend time talking. And I think this is a very good way, and it works for me. So
okay, yeah, this is something that we need to take on board, because obviously talking to other people, meeting other people, sharing activities and interests is definitely a very good idea, not to remain confined into the nursing discipline or into the healthcare environment. So we need to make sure that we are able to communicate almost wherever we go, because that will amplify our experience as human beings and not only as healthcare professionals. Serena, thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Talking to you, and I'm sure that students will come up with some wonderful questions, and maybe it would be great if we can maybe host you once again during one of our classes together. So maybe we can just arrange another meeting or something like that. I'm sure we will keep in touch and arrange something else. Okay.
Why not? I will be more than happy to answer all the questions that they have.
I'm sure that the students will send you the regards and obviously their appreciation for the fantastic work you're doing in Uganda. So thank you for that.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
It is such a nice opportunity for me to share my job and my knowledge and what I'm doing here with you. So thank you very much. I'm happy to answer all the questions that you have. That's it.
That's great. Thank you, Serena. Take care.